Wouldn't you just know it? I get the workbench cleared off and something breaks. So over here in the corner of the shop is the washer dryer, and the upper agitator is no longer doing what it's supposed to. It should not turn in that direction. So we're going to have to figure out how to fix that. And for record, here it is. There's the Kenmore model number 110246323300. And let's see what we're going to have to do to fix this. First thing we're going to have to do is get this thing off. And I don't have the manual on this, so I have no idea. The first thing I did is I pulled this off, and there's nothing down there indicating how this thing comes off. So putting that back down on place, and what I did, I've already been in there obviously, holding onto the bottom piece, you give it a little twist and the whole cover comes off. Now let's see if we can zoom in and get a good look at what's going on down here. I don't know if the light is good enough down here to see it, but down underneath here there's some nylon cogs. There's a ratchet gear sitting on the outside that turns, and there's some nylon clocks. Hopefully you can see this. So I'm not focused on the right spot. Let's move this up a little bit. There we go, right in the center. Right in here, you can see a little nylon cog coming out. I don't know if you can see it at that angle. Let's reposition the camera to get a better look down inside. Now it does not look like it's focused. That should be okay. I'm not going to be able to tell if this is good until I get it out of the camera. But right in here, there's a little nylon cog that comes out that's supposed to grab on to the ridges on the outside gear. So that's what's has to be replaced. So now it's off to Google to see if I can find some parts. Okay, we're back. Found these on Amazon. Let's see, get these in the camera. Blue Stars, they are not original equipment. Kenmore parts. Kenmore parts were like $20 or $25. I don't remember. These were less than $10. And if I remember right, the 80040 was the Kenmore part number. They look the same, but to see if they're going to work, first I've got to see how to get this thing out of there. Deep down inside here, we've got a screw that appears to be what needs to take it out. So I've got a long extension, fits the screw, and we're going to get that out of there. Screws out, but nothing is coming. There we go. The whole thing comes up. Looks like a little bit of that needs to be cleaned out. Oh, and there's a whole bunch of, if we can see that in my hand, a whole bunch of pieces of nylon that are broken off. So let's get this over here on the bench so I don't lose anything. Okay, here we are on the bench. This is what fell out in my hand. Now this guy here just comes right out. You need to be careful watching for any pieces to fall out. And here we've got the broken nylon cogs. And the rest of the nylon that's broke off. Oh, there's the screw. Got to be careful. And looking at the screw, I can see they've got it some Loctite on there we're going to have to replace. And there's how they're retained. This is the retainer. Let's get zoomed in so we can get a better look. Got this black retainer, just slips right up. We need to make sure it's not keyed. It doesn't have to go on in any specific orientation. Put that aside. And now it kind of makes sense, these funny little eyes that are in here that slip down inside those openings. Let's get this bag open. Yeah, this all makes perfect sense now. That comes out, that goes in, and there's the new cog. Here's one that didn't break. Actually, a little chunk of it is taken off right down here, so it is partially broken. This one goes on there. And this one also has a couple of chunks missing. So as it's spinning, when it goes in one direction, those cogs come out and they lock up against that little gear. So before we put this together, we're going to get this cleaned up. I see little bits of plastic in there, so I'm going to just take this out and get it cleaned. Everything's cleaned up good enough. I got all the debris out of there. We've got my new cogs sitting here ready to go. Let's get this stuff out of there. Also using a wire wheel, cleaned out the threads that were on here. And we've got some low strength Loctite. Don't use the high strength, or it's not Loctite. This is not Loctite. It is a thread locker. And this is actually from Honda. But it's a low strength thread locker. We don't want to use the high strength stuff, or if you have to take that off again, you may not be able to get it off. So we're just going to drop this back in here where it goes. And let's go back to the washing machine. Okay, we're back at the washer. See how this thing goes together. If you recall, when I took this apart, there was a little black ring in here. That black ring turns out to be a gasket that goes in here. So we pull the back ring, put it back on there. We drop the thingamajiggy, whatever that happens to be called, with the cogs in it, get it down to where it's supposed to be down there. And now, how am I going to get this screw down in the hole? It doesn't stick onto the socket. Let's see if this does the trick. Yeah, it's a little bit of electrical tape I've got on the head of the screw. Shove it into the socket, and now it's stuck. A little bit of the low strength Loctite onto the threads. And now for this, although it's in there, and I've got a nice electric wrench to put in there, I do not want to tighten that without knowing how much torque I'm putting on it. So I need to run out and grab a ratchet. These are great for taking screws off, and in some cases putting screws on where you're not too concerned about the torque. But when torque matters, uh-oh, the socket's stuck. And now it's not. But when torque matters, you really want to have a hand feel to it. There, I feel it's starting to get tight now. And it's stuck, nothing's moving. And we're gonna let that Loctite is what's gonna hold that screw in place. Now, if everything's good, I should not be able to rotate this backwards anymore. You see that? It locks right into place as it goes around. Grab the cap, find the index where it goes in place, holding the bottom piece, a few degrees rotation, and this repair is done.
Be sure to subscribe to be notified of new uploads and hit that notification bell to be informed of future updates.